Right. Let's see what everyone's up to. Sunday afternoon, Memorial Day weekend. How are you guys? Just finished up doing some training videos for our VAs. Have a couple starting this week, so getting them squared away. What we got here? Yep, we we're making shipments. Got Instagram going, YouTube Live. Yeah, thanks. I got some Ninja Turtles, and Master of the Universe. Kind of wish I would have done more of the Ninja Turtles though. Um, He-Man one's just a little nostalgic. So, mhm. Yeah, we do mostly FBM, or I'm sorry, FBA for sure. Yeah, so we got YouTube Live, Instagram going, so different different comments and questions. Starting to plan Malik FBA wholesale. Um, so a couple suggestions. You want to make sure you have a legit distributor, meaning not someone that um, doesn't have a website, got you on Telegram type of thing. Um, but ask to open a wholesale account. Ask if they're fine with e-commerce sellers. Some are not. If they are not, try and find out what the objections are. You might be able to open the account. And some wholesale distributors will ship to FBA for you. If they're open to e-commerce sellers, ask if that's a option, and then um, just have a plan for what you want to purchase. Look at the products, vet them just like you would anything else. Trade shows can help open up accounts for wholesale distributors, but there's plenty of them out there. I don't do a lot of wholesale, but it's the same process. Um, some are going to give you objections, some are not, and you want to try and create um, pockets or moats, some people call it, around your pricing. So if like they have their pricing public to everyone, that's going to be more opportunity for everyone to get eyes on products. So people who you know you got to jump through some hoops to open an account. You People who don't have just a pricing sheet available and a lot of manual sourcing, you can really find profitable things there. Any niche you recommend? Grocery would be the easiest one to start in. Um, Grocery, home and household, health products. I would avoid, if it's your first time, I would avoid anything electronic. And there are wholesale clothing companies out there, but it's not going to be like for Nike and Adidas type things. Things like Jockey, Hanes. But I would probably start out with either grocery, health and household. You can find like tool distributors, like um, repair parts, things like that. So those are going to be probably the best places to start. Again, maybe a lot of manual sourcing. So, yep, still doing private label. That is in the works. Actually, on my calendar for this month is to hopefully pump out a lot of private label YouTube videos. Just been lagging on that. So if I can get my button gear, be putting out several this month just to help people understand the process and get started. Like anything else, when you run into roadblocks, that's, I think, a good time to reach out for coaching or consulting, not at the get-go. So you can definitely pay for knowledge, but sometimes doing your own research can give you a foundation of understanding of the things you need to do or should do. And then if you can't figure those out or can't get past those, maybe a good time to reach out, ask somebody to mentor you, consult with you before, throwing a lot of money at a course. So, what's up, Ecom with our Sal? Memorial Day weekend. I'm sure there's a lot of sales going on. I'm staying away from any clothing sales. Where am I from? Here in the Midwest, United States, Michigan. I have not even looked for any Memorial Day sales, to be honest with you. It's the end of the month, and the end of the month for me is a lot of running the numbers, looking at where the business is, kind of planning for the next month. So not really planning on sourcing many Memorial Day sales. Maybe a couple here and there, but we did a lot of purchasing between Thursday and yesterday. So I feel like we're good starting June. What's going on, everyone? Chase, if you're still watching, I'm going to find out if that distributor ships to residential this next week. So I'll keep you updated and see how it goes. Yeah, I've been selling on Amazon for like 3.5 years now. Doing it full time for about 2. So it's quite interesting. A lot of things change, a lot of things stay the same. That's what they say, right? The more things change, the more they stay the same. It's the same with Amazon. Just different things you got to deal with at different times. Yep. No, I would just reach out to the brand, find out if you can, if there's an option to do brand direct. I actually called 2 brands this week because we found products that There's a lot of Amazon sellers. Didn't look like any IP complaints in the past. The brand's never been on the listing. No evidence of, like nothing came up on IP alert. It just looked like a private label slash IP complaint possibility. So I actually called the brand and they said, no, we're getting ready to actually kick everyone off Amazon because we're bringing it back in house. So I'm kind of glad I called, but you never know. Cause I did ask a couple questions as far as, has there been problems with other sellers? And a lot of it just people can't uh, fulfill the warranty, I think is what they said. So glad I called. There's the listing's been around for 2 years or so. It looked like to me when I looked at the Keepa, seller counts were steady up and down. It wasn't like one or two. It was like I don't know, like eight to 10 over the course of the life of the product. But you know, went to the website. They offered wholesale counts, so that's why I called. But that's mainly to brick and mortar retailers. So it doesn't hurt to call or email. Um, and sometimes that in the long run can save you some headache from a potential IP complaint or authenticity claim. Anybody golfing this weekend? Memorial Day. I think that's the first year in many that I'm not golfing, but we are doing a little grilling. Dealing with dealing with the customer right now who has updated the review of a product probably like 3 times now, and each time it gets worse because um, they just didn't like our answer. Finally today, I said, "Hey, like I'll send you extra units. I don't need you to change your review, but obviously you're frustrated because like every week you're updating it. Can't change your star. You're not changing that, but you keep, you know, now it's like a paragraph. Um, so fun stuff. It's the first time that's ever happened where someone keeps updating one of their product reviews, and it's a private label product. So, um, first they left us a negative seller feedback, got that removed, and then I don't know if they were watching it, but right after that, I got that removed. Then they left the first negative review of the product, and then we reached out. It was like, "Hey, what can we do? Keep you satisfied?" And they're like, "Nothing. We're just frustrated." So then after that, they updated again. Didn't change the star, just added to the original comment. And then last night, I noticed that they now added pictures. So it's the first time that's happened, but hopefully they'll. I'll send them like 5 products for free if they want. Just stop updating. It's kind of like I don't know if they just don't have a life or what, but it's interesting. Yep, exactly. So I'm live on YouTube and Instagram, so I'm seeing 2 screens. Uh, Plan is to put out some more YouTube content specifically geared around private label because I've gone back and forth long enough on to do coaching or some kind of beginner course. And honestly, the best place for me to start is just to put out for free on YouTube and get the thoughts that are in my head out in the world, and hopefully help people at least with some of the basics and the beginnings of of you diving into that model. Um, Said it before. The the most labor intensive part is the upfront, the product research part. So if you can get that nailed down and create your listing properly, you really set yourself up, there's a few other factors, but you really set yourself up to be successful if you can vet the right products, if you can get your listing going properly, good pictures, good copy, um, those kind of things. Something that makes it stand out. For sure. Yeah, we do sell in Mexico and Canada. Although we did kind of shut off our Canadian account. Just get a lot of account health issues there with some of the Canadian requirements. We really don't have any problems in Mexico, but Canada, we get hit, or we've gotten hit in the past with, like, you know, ingredients and products that are totally fine in the US. Uh, for some reason, trademark issues, like, I want to say Star Wars. We got hit on Star Wars in Canada on a toy. Nowhere else was it affected, just Canada. Um, so we shut down the Canadian sales um, not too long ago, like maybe a month or possibly 2 months ago. And it kind of stinks because it was like I don't know, a couple $1,000s, maybe like $5,000 in sales a month that we do in Canada. But just the account health issues weren't worth it. So we shut that down. Hmm. Interesting. Any issues with Mexico? No issues with Mexico, surprisingly. I think we had one trade market. I don't even, we've really, it just nothing with Mexico. The funny thing is, we sell year round, we sell more toys in Mexico than the US. Um, but no issues really with Mexico. Malik, yes, I do online arbitrage, private label. I do pretty much all the methods. I do a little bit of wholesale, not very much. RA, OA, PO. Any guidance on OA? The best advice I can give anybody selling on Amazon is pay for a Keepa subscription. If you don't know how to use Keepa or interpret the data, watch YouTube videos on learning Keepa and use a revenue calculator. There's free ones out there, there's paid ones out there. Um, and really, if you have Keepa and you can understand the data on the historical trends, and you have a revenue calculator that'll help you understand your purchase price versus what you're selling it for after all the Amazon fees, if it's profitable, that's really what you need to do for OA. And then just you can manually source a site. Um, you can look at other seller storefronts, try and find where they purchase products from, see if you can get them at a profitable price. How do I find ungated categories? Simple. Just if you have an Amazon seller account, try to add a product. It's going to tell you if it's gated or not. If you're gated, request approval. Some will auto ungate, some won't. The ones that don't, usually just got to go find a distributor or a company that you can purchase 10 of, and then show Amazon that invoice. Um, Offhand, anybody can sell used books. There's a lot of home, kitchen, household products that anybody can sell once you have an Amazon seller account. Uh, the gated categories are going to be grocery is going to be a gated category, but you can use Frontier Co-op to ungate. There seems like there's another one, maybe Office Supply. A lot of brands might be gated, but you can, again, depend on the brand. So let's say it's Starbucks or Nike. The clothing companies, the clothing brands are usually the ones that you have to get ungated in. Um, you know, you can use Kohl's nowadays. You used to be able to use Eastbay for some of those bigger brands. You can probably use Champ Sports, I would assume, for like Nike. Kohl's.com works for a lot of these brands, but you got to buy 10 of a unit or of an item. If you're wanting to get ungated in like toy brands, Lego.com is good for like Lego, but you can kind of do a double ungate. So like if you buy like a keychain, like a Lego Star Wars or a Lego Disney keychain, you can get usually ungated in Lego and Disney or Lego and Star Wars. Um, so it's easier to get ungated than it was a few years back. But as far as what anybody can sell on, I mean, used books, scan stuff around your house to add a product. It's going to tell you if you're gated or not. If you're gated, just request approval. You'd be surprised at how often you can get auto ungated. And the nice thing is, as the longer you sell on Amazon, you can always go back to some of those older requests and you'll find that now you're auto ungated in those things because you have a little bit of history with Amazon of selling versus being a new seller. Frontier Co-op for grocery. Yep. And some categories or some things will require you to take pictures. So I remember when I got ungated in grocery, I ordered some small spices from Frontier Co-op, took pictures of all the sides, submitted those pictures with my invoice, and got approved to sell grocery. And then beyond that, there's now I'm ungated for the category, but within that category, there might still be some brands that I can auto ungate. So like Starbucks has grocery products, but I had to get ungated in Starbucks and just went to a distributor and bought 10 of a product. So now I can sell not just Starbucks cups or Starbucks merchandise, but I can also sell Starbucks coffee. Um, and you'll find that for different brands. Just like, you might be ungated in the clothing category, but then there's specific brands or subcategories like baby clothing is a subcategory that you have to go through usually the ungating process. It's really not rocket science. Um, Sometimes we tend to overthink things, especially getting started. I know I did. Still overthink stuff, but at the end of the day, it's pretty. In the big scheme of things, it's usually a pretty simple process. For sure. You're welcome. Yes, we have several VAs. Um, we have four product researchers and a team lead. So kind of like a manager in a sense. Um, that helps. And they're doing well. Um, so just trying to grow every day, try and grow a little bit. And we do a lot of training. We do a lot of training with our VAs, our product researchers. So when they first get hired, we put them through the OA challenge, um, and that takes them about a week and a half to go through. And then also beyond that, for the first 2 weeks, I'm doing 1 hour a day training with them, um, giving them feedback. I give every one of them, all of our product research team, feedback um, every day on their leads, and we have a team meeting once a week. So you know, it's not a hands off thing. Like, we didn't hire them to just be hands off. We hired them to help us, but also to give us some of our time on certain tasks back. But we're still making sure we're communicating with them, and it's helpful. I think it's helpful for us. It's helpful for me, um, leading people, leading the team, and then it's helpful for them to get that feedback, have that constant communication. Any business needs to have open lines of communication with your teams. So, onlinejobs.ph is where we hired all of our product researches for or from. So all of them have come from there. All of them are in the Philippines. No. For private label research, I prefer manually sourcing, but did recently start using Helium 10. It's okay. It kind of gives me a little bit of jump start to dive into manual sourcing, basically with using keywords as a jumping off point. But I've not sourced any products with using Helium 10, um, where I look at such and such product and say, oh, it's doing this much revenue, I'm going to try and just sell that same thing. That's really not the way I approach it. So I like manual sourcing. It's more time intensive, but the two products that we've launched, um, have ranked well within the first month and a half, and um, they're steady, they're profitable. So that's the key: consistent and profitable. All right, going 30 minutes almost. Appreciate it. See if we have any more questions here. One thing I don't like when I do these streams on Instagram Live is you can't wave to people like you can on the app. So you just see who joins. Yep. All right, everyone. Enjoy your weekend. Peace out.